You, red bag, the red bag, stop right there. Put your hands up.
Hey, put your hands up and say, I want to learn English now. Hey guys, I'm just kidding. This is my son's toy gun. And, well, I know you want to learn English today, so you don't have to do that. But did you pay attention to the connected speech here? Put your hands up.
Put your hands up.
So the T for put is joined with the Y for you, and it has that cha-cha sound. Put your, and then hands up. The S for hands has a Z sound, which joins with up, so zup. Put your hands up. Put your hands up. Today we'll be learning English with the Bourne Identity, an action thriller film starring Matt Damon. Here's how it's gonna work. First, you're gonna watch the scenes with subtitles. Then I'm gonna teach you some of the most important vocabulary, grammar, and pronunciation from the clips. Finally, you will test your listening skills by watching the clips again without subtitles. By the way, if you're new here and you want to be able to understand your favorite movies and TV series without getting lost, without missing the jokes, and without subtitles, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and bell down below so you don't miss a single new lesson.
What are you looking at?
I heard you inside.
What?
The consulate, I heard you talking. I thought maybe we could help each other.
How's that?
You need money. I need a ride out of here.
I'm not running a car service just now, thank you.
I'll give you $10,000 to drive me to Paris.
Ich bin total... What is this, a joke? Some kind of scam?
No, it's no scam. And I'll give you another 10 when we get there.
Is that for you?
Look, you drive, I pay. It's that simple.
Scheiße.
I got enough trouble, okay?
Okay. Can I have my money back? The consulate, I heard you talking. I thought maybe we could help each other.
Consulate is the place in a city where a foreign government official, called a consul, works and provides services.
The consulate, I heard you talking. I thought maybe we could help each other.
Heard is the past of hear. But do you know the difference between hear and listen? They might be similar, but they have slightly different meanings. When you hear something, you're not really paying attention to it, and you're not even expecting to hear it. You are doing something else, or walking, working, and then you hear something. It's something more passive. Now, if you listen to something, you are more attentive, you pay attention, you are deliberate about what you are listening. So listening is something more active than just hearing.
I heard some odd noises when I was walking by.
Listen to me. I want to help you.
How's that?
You need money. I need a ride out of here.
I need a ride out of here. So first of all, we have I need a. The D for need is joined with the vowel A. There is the flap sound for the D, ra. The vowel A is reduced to a schwa sound, So I need a. And then ride out. The D for ride again has the flap sound, ra, which joins with out. And then the T for out is joined with the preposition of. Ride out. Also notice that of gets super reduced to a schwa sound, only. So ride out here. I need a ride out of here. I need a ride out of here.
I need a ride out of here.
I'm not running a car service just now, thank you.
This is an interesting use of the verb run. As you know, to run means to do this, right? But not only that, you can run a service, you can run a business. Imagine you have a company. So you are running a business. You have a business to run. Here's an example.
I understand, sir.
But I'm not running a family, I'm running a business, so I'm going with you. Congratulations, you're going to run this company.
I'm not running a car service just now, thank you.
I'll give you $10,000 to drive me to Paris.
I will give you $10,000 for driving me to Paris. That's a big one. So I will give you, we have a contraction here. He says, I'll give you $10,000. The TH here for thousand has a voiceless sound. It's thousand, 10,000. But when you speak fast, you don't have to overly pronounce the th. It's usually a th. My tongue is still between my teeth, but not really fully going th. So 10,000, okay? So I'll give you $10,000 for driving. For is often reduced to fur, so for driving me, and then here we have to Paris. The preposition to gets reduced to a r. So the Paris, for driving me to Paris. Putting it together, I'll give you $10,000 for driving me to Paris.
What is this, a joke? Some kind of scam?
A scam is basically a tricky plan someone uses to steal something from you, usually money or personal information. For example, the email promising a free vacation in exchange for your bank details was definitely a scam. Don't fall for it. This is also a nice expression, to fall for something. When you fall for something, you are tricked. You are fooled because you believe in something someone tells you that isn't true. You can also say, I'm not falling for that, meaning I'm not going to be tricked or fooled by that. I know what you're doing. You're trying to trick me, to manipulate me, but I'm not falling for that. Here's an example.
Nope, I'm not falling for that.
Oh, I'm not trying to trick you.
Exactly what a trickster would say.
Notice that Jason doesn't say it's not a scam, but he says it's no scam. Again, this is a more colloquial way of saying this. Here's another example. It's no surprise that learning English takes time and effort, but the rewards are definitely worth it. And you can make your English learning more enjoyable and effective with powerful tools like the Real Life app. Instead of having to take a lot of notes from this lesson, did you know that you can just watch this lesson inside our app and activate a deck of exclusive flashcards for you to practice all this vocabulary you're learning today? So I want to invite you to download the Real Life English app right now and activate your exclusive flashcards for today's lesson. You're gonna love it. The link is in the description, and let me know later what you thought.
And I'll give you another 10 when we get there.
This is an example of first conditional. We use the first conditional first to make predictions about the future and also to communicate this idea of cause and consequence. For example, if you touch the fire, you will burn your hand. You see? Cause and consequence. Also remember that you can use if or when. Here in the movie, he's using when. He says, I'll give you another 10 when we get there. So let me give you some examples. First with if. You could go, if you touch the fire, you will burn your hand, like I just said. Or with when, you could go, when I arrive home, I'll give you a call. Also notice that the order here is irrelevant. You can start with if and the will sentence, or you can start with the will sentence and if. But if you start with the will sentence, don't use comma. The same thing applies for when. If you start the sentence with when, use the comma. If you start the sentence with will, don't use the comma.
I got enough trouble, okay?
Okay. Can I have my money back?
Whoa, he speaks this incredibly fast. Can I have my money back? What he does here is can gets reduced to a kun, okay? And then have gets reduced to a of. So putting it together, he goes knife. And then can I have my money? Can I have my money? Can I have my money back? Can I have my money back? It's really, really fast.
I'm not making this up. These are real.
Okay.
Who has
has a safety deposit box full of money and 6 passports and a gun? Who has a bank account number in their hip?
I come in here, and the first thing I'm doing is I'm catching the sight lines and looking for an exit.
I see the exit sign too. I'm not worried. I mean, you were shot. People do all kinds of weird and amazing stuff when they're scared.
I can tell you the license plate numbers of all 6 cars outside. I can tell you that our waitress is left-handed and the guy sitting up at the counter weighs 215 pounds and knows how to handle himself. I know the best place to look for a gun is the cab of the gray truck outside. And at this altitude, I can run flat out for a half mile before my hands start shaking. Now, why would I know that?
I'm not making this up. These are real.
If you make something up, you invent it or create it. Here's an example.
This is crazy.
It's not my name. I made it up. I made up everything. The name, the girlfriend.
These are real.
This, these, that, those. Do you remember the rules? So, this is my phone. Why this? Because it's one thing, singular, and I am close to it. This phone is mine. Imagine I had 2 phones here. Now, it's in the plural. These phones are mine. Now, imagine my phone here is not close but far from me. I have to point at it. I could say, hey, that phone is mine. Again, if I have 2 phones far away from me, I say those. Hey, those phones are mine. All right? Also remember the pronunciation. This, these, that, and those.
Who has a bank account number in their hip?
This is your hip. Your hip connects your legs to your torso. But we also have the expression to be hip. If you are hip, you are cool. Imagine somebody who wears hip clothes, for example. These are cool clothes. Here's another example. She wasn't interested in mainstream pop music. She only listened to the latest underground and hip artists.
I come in here, and the first thing I'm doing is I'm catching the sight lines and looking for an exit.
Your sight is your vision, your ability to see. In simple terms, sight lines refer to the direction you're looking at something. An exit is the way out of a place. In the story, Jason Bourne is a trained CIA agent with many skills. But in this scene, he doesn't remember who he is, so he has all these skills but doesn't know exactly why or how he got them. When he says, the first thing I'm doing is I'm catching the sight lines and looking for an exit, he means his brain is trained to immediately look around a place and understand the architecture of the place, and also look for a way out in case something dangerous happens. Now, Bourne starts describing everything he's capable of doing and how confused he is because he doesn't know how he knows all these things.
I can tell you the license plate numbers of all 6 cars outside.
Cars usually need a license plate to move around the city. This is the plate that contains the letters and numbers to identify the vehicle.
I can tell you that our waitress is left-handed and the guy sitting up at the counter weighs 215 pounds and knows how to handle himself.
If you are left-handed, you write and do most things with your left hand, as opposed to being right-handed, which is a person who does most things with their right hand. You can see counters in many shops and stores. It's usually that area that separates or divides the customer from the shopkeeper. When Jason says that there is a guy that weighs 215 pounds, that's about 97 kilograms. So in other words, the guy is big. Still talking about that guy, Jason says that he knows how to handle himself. If you know how to handle yourself in this context, you know how to defend yourself. For example, I take self-defense classes, so I know how to handle myself if I ever need it.
I know the best place to look for a gun is the cab of the gray truck outside.
In this context, cab is short for cabin. The cab of a truck, also known as the cabin, is the compartment where the driver sits and operates the vehicle. Jason is saying that if he needs a gun, that would be the first place he would go look for one.
And at this altitude, I can run flat out for a half mile before my hands start shaking.
If you do something flat out, you do it completely, all the way. It means doing something with all your effort, at full speed, or completely. For example, the firefighters were working flat out to extinguish the blaze, or the fire. Just a quick side note here, this line from the movie, and at this altitude, I can run flat out for a half mile before my hands start shaking. I noticed that actually we can hear that same line in the Tim Ferriss Show podcast in the intro. I love listening to Tim's podcast, and I just noticed that, oh yeah, he used that line from the movie in one of his intros. It's really cool.
At this altitude, I can run flat out for a half mile before my hands start shaking.
Still talking about flat out, you can also use flat out to say that something is completely wrong or false. Here's an example.
Guys, come on, you sit there and you try and tell me that Becky doesn't have the right to live a normal life just because she has Down syndrome? Well, I think that's flat out wrong. You should be the ones who have to explain yourselves, not me.
I can run flat out for a half mile before my hands start shaking.
A half mile is about 0.8 kilometers, almost 1 kilometer. Then, confused by all these mysterious skills he has, Jason asks,
Now why would I know that?
Now why would I know that? So, would I, the D has a flap sound, da-da, which joins with I, would I. And then know that. The T for that has a stop consonant, it's a stop T, so that. So we hear, now why would I know that? Why would I know that? Alright, now it's time to watch the clips again without subtitles and test your listening skills.
What are you looking at?
I heard you inside.
What?
The consulate, I heard you talking. I thought maybe we could help each other.
How's that?
You need money. I need a ride out of here.
I'm not running a car service just now, thank you.
I'll give you $10,000 to drive me to Paris.
Ich bin total bescheuert, oder?
Ich denke nicht, dass du bescheuert bist.
What is this, a joke? Some kind of scam?
When you are the victim of a scam, you down for it, drop for it, fall for it.
No, it's no scam. And I'll give you another 10 when we get there.
Jesus. Is that for you?
Look, you drive, I pay. It's that simple.
Scheiße.
I got enough trouble, okay?
Okay. Can I have my money back? I'm not making this up. These are real.
Okay.
Who has a safety deposit box full of money and 6 passports and a gun? Who has a bank account number in their hip?
I come in here, and the first thing I'm doing is I'm catching the sight lines and looking for an exit.
I see the exit sign too, I'm not worried. You were shot. People do all kinds of weird and amazing stuff when they're scared.
I can tell you the license plate numbers of all 6 cars outside. I can tell you that our waitress is left-handed and the guy sitting up at the counter weighs 215 pounds and knows how to handle himself.
In this context, the phrase, he knows how to handle himself, means he knows how to present himself, he knows how to conduct himself, he knows how to defend himself.
I know the best place to look for a gun is the cab of the gray truck outside. And at this altitude, I can run flat out for a half mile before my hands start shaking.
If you do something flat out, you do it partially, cautiously, completely.
Now, why would I know that?
Great! Now it's time to activate your English. I have a challenge for you. Write 3 sentences with these words: flat out, to make something up, and hip. Post your sentences here under this video in the comment section. I'm curious to read them. So activate your English by doing that. Guys, great job. You've made it until the end of the lesson. You rock. Don't forget to like this video, share this video with a friend who's also learning English, and subscribe to the channel if you're not a subscriber yet. And if you want to keep learning English while having a ton of fun, check out this next lesson. I'll be talking to you very soon. Bye-bye.
We have to use guns. Let's use proper guns.
Sergeant Thorne, reporting for duty, sir.